gang, Anthony Fontana here, Alive After 5. Just wanted to say hi and hope everybody is doing well tonight. It's been a busy day, appointments all over Long Island, and just having a blast doing what I do. I love it, but the day's not over yet. I have somebody coming here in a little while for an appointment, and then an online webinar and a number of other things. So I want to welcome you just for taking a few minutes out to sit and join with me on these nightly visits that we have, and I really appreciate that. And let me tell you, I love it from the bottom of my heart. So if you're watching this as a replay, fantastic. If you're watching it live right now, also fantastic. If you want to comment in here, I'm going to try to acknowledge. Hey Sal, how are you? I can't always acknowledge because the screen moves and I can't see it that well. So I'm assuming that if there's green buttons here, I know there's somebody looking in. But usually people watch as a replay. So I want you to do me a favor and just let me know that. I appreciate that. And if you have any content here that you enjoy, share it with somebody that might need to see it. So let's go back to story. We talked about this whole week about the evil thing that sits inside you that affects your life, dramatically affects your life. Hi, Irene. It just does. Hey, Sal. Brooklyn in the house. So these individual stories that we tell ourselves are a reflection of what's going on inside us. It's how we were brought up. It's how the stories that we tell each other are the stories that are ingrained in our subconscious mind. And they elevate themselves to your conscious mind anytime you're in a situation and the brain thinks, let me bring up that story and get this thing done and move it on. I want to stay on the tracks going forward. It's just nonsense. And you know, how has the 1 or 2 or 10 stories that you're telling yourself, how have they affected you? We talked about this yesterday. And by verbalizing it, you're able to reach back into your mind and think, yeah, that has affected me. I don't have money because I thought I'm not supposed to have money. My parents were frugal. I'm supposed to be frugal. These are the things that I think people automatically work towards every time they're trying to move forward. Those stories pop back up like crabs in a barrel, and they pull your butt right down into the barrel. It's you doing that. There's no one else controlling you. It's only you doing that. I mean, what future will you have if you don't make any changes in the stories that you have right now? If where you are today is not where you expected to be 5 years ago or 10 years ago, well, what caused that? Well, what caused that are, no question, the stories that you've been speaking, the stories that you've been telling yourself all these years. So if where you are right now is not where you wanted to be, well, where the heck are you going to be 5 or 10 years from now, or even a month from now, if you're telling yourself the same damn dumb story? You need to make a change, because if you're not making a change, expect to be where you are today in 10 years. Well, I got to tell you something. I'm not where I wanted to be. I'm not where I expected to be. I'm further along than where I expected to be. So I've exceeded where I expected to be, and I expect to exceed it greatly in the next 10 years. Yeah, I'm working 10 years out. I'm not working this week or this month. I'm not working on getting likes today. I'm working on building relationships that are going to be long-term. I'm working on building a long-term business that'll pay me residually all my life, and after I'm gone, it'll pay my kids. That's how hard we're working right now. We're doing things differently because we think differently. If you want to live a 1% life or even a 10% life, you have to do the 1 and 10% things to get there. And stories are the controlling factor right there. So you can prove your stories are not true by just looking around your own story with examples that defeat that story. Like, I don't have money. I can't succeed. Well, there were a lot of people that had no money that are billionaires and 100 millionaires today. There were people that, I don't have an education. Well, there are people that say that to themselves, and yet there are people that didn't go to college. Tony Robbins, Richard Branson, they didn't do well in school. And today, look where they are. How many people are they affecting and influencing? You had a poor childhood. Maybe you had an alcoholic father. I know a lot of guys that had poor childhoods and alcoholic fathers and parents. Sometimes drug addicted things. And yet, they're doing very, very well. They're very successful. I met a guy today. I was hanging out with him, a great friend of mine from 10, 12 years ago. Haven't seen him since 2009. I was blown away. by how different he is today compared to what he was doing back then. He was not doing well back then. I know everything about him. In fact, I know more today than I did even then, because he told me some stories that I couldn't believe. And yet here he is, successful, making multiple six figures, driving a Beamer. Great guy. I was blown away. I loved it. We had a great time eating French fries in a diner in Melville. We enjoyed ourselves. So no excuses. You'll always find people that have the same situation you have or had it, and made different decisions. They didn't acknowledge their story as true. They acknowledged their story as fake. So you'll find proof right around you. Just look in a biography section of a library, and you'll find people that have had your issues and your situations, and they did well doing that. They did well. They got rid of that crap. So here's an experiment. You want to change your story real quick? Have a conversation with God or the deity that's you think is running the universe, whatever you believe. If you walked in and sat down with God himself, and God said, Anthony, you're not doing what you promised me you would do. I made you, I put you out there. You have every possible capability to succeed and to grow and to develop and to nurture and to change lives, and yet you're wallowing in self-pity, you're wallowing in failure. Tell me why. And you're sitting there thinking, Jesus Louise, I got to tell this to the Supreme Being. I got to tell him why I'm not succeeding. I got to throw all this out there. And you try having that conversation with him face to face. And let me tell you something. You're going to laugh. You're going to be embarrassed by it because it's not true. And you're going to start thinking a little bit about that. So have that conversation. What if your life is a certain way? Have a conversation with a Holocaust survivor or a cancer victim that survived or someone that's endured untold tragedy, and you're telling them that, I'm not a success because, my dad was mean to me when I was 12. Oh my God, they're going to laugh at you because they had a life that you can't even conceive of. Now, maybe your tragedies are the same. They've done something different. They've moved forward. You have not. What's the difference? It's not the fact that they're a better person than you. It's not the fact that, they're better than you or different from you. They're the same as you. They put their pants on or dress on the same way. So you're not different from anybody else. Your stories are meaningless in the scheme of things. You need to change it if it's a negative and it's holding you back. So what I want you to do is I want you to look for the good in any story that you're telling yourself that's a negative, because everything does have a blessing. If you've had a negative life up to now, what have you learned from that life? Maybe it's made you stronger. Maybe it's made you a better parent. Maybe it's made you somewhat aware of the things that you're doing wrong, and you're now conscious of those things. I've had stories come up all my life, and some of them were good, some of them were bad. I've learned from the things. I said it in the beginning here. What if your life is an experiment? What if it's a process where you're learning how to be better? Because everything that's happened to you from birth to right now was supposed to happen. It's designed to design you. You're a work in progress. You're a clay mold being molded every single day, every minute of your life. You're molding yourself. You need to do what you need to do to create the perfect Da Vinci or whoever the sculptor was. Rembrandt? I don't even know. Who was a sculptor back in the 1500s? I don't know. So say it out loud. Look for the good. What good has come from your story? I want you to focus on that, because everyone has good things happening, and those good things stem from your story. You may not be acknowledging it, but it's there nevertheless. So, Tony Robbins says this: what if life happens for us, not to us? How cool is that? What if life happens for us, not to us? Isn't that interesting? It's developing you. Life is helping you develop you to be better. Understand it that way, and it's going to change your perspective on a lot of different things. Everyone's had bad crap. Everyone's had stuff happen to us. We've all gone through negatives, and you're creating yourself every single day. You're creating a brand new you. Fact is, from what I remember about science, your body, every 7 years, every cell in your body is completely recreated. So the physical person you are today did not exist 7 years ago. It's all brand new. Well, why do we hold on to the stuff up here for 7, 10, 15, 30, 40, 50 years? It's unbelievable to me. Since your body is recreating itself every 7 years, then you can recreate yourself every day. It's a process, but you have to decide to do it. So I want you to write down, here's the end of this, I want you to write down your story, your new story. If you've taken my advice, and written down your old story or stories and put them on paper, even if it's just one sentence each, rewrite that in a positive. Rewrite a new story. How would you like to be 5 years from now, 10 years from now? Visualize it, vision it as it does already exist in your mind today. Write it down. And do that every single day, but do it today. Do it tonight. Take the time. Shut off the TV and do it. Where do you want to be a year from now, 2 years, 5 years from now? And I don't mean necessarily financial. You can put that down. Those are goal-oriented things. I'm talking about you as a person, you as an individual. The things that have been holding you back are no longer going to hold you back. I want you to do it, and I want you to loudly repeat your story, loudly, out loud, every day. That's how you change your story. By rewriting the programming like an Etch-a-Sketch. You got to write it out, write it out, write it out, speak it, speak it, speak it, and what's going to happen? You're going to recreate the patterns up here that are going to eliminate all that negative, stinking thinking that have been going on in your mind all these years. It will go away. You'll suppress it. It will always be there, but it won't rear its ugly head every time you're in a situation that requires some new thinking. Your old story is not going to come into play and say, see what I said, see what I thought, see what's happening. I guarantee you that if you do what I'm saying to do, if you take my advice, you'll have a better week, a better year, a better month, a better life. So take it. So I hope you do. Donald, my buddy, Ronnie from, oh my God, from high school. Wow. Hi, Candy. How are you? I'm going to wave. Frank, what's going on? Danielle, what's happening? Melissa Gale's on here. Allison, Judith is always on here. I love it. Sharon, I love seeing you on here too. Chrissy, hi, buddy. What's going on? Todd, oh my God, so many of you are on here tonight. Wow, busy day. Irma's always on these calls. I love it. My friend Al. Alfonso, I tell you, I'm so proud of you. Maria, great person. Irene, oh my goodness, Sal. So I said hi, waved to everybody. Love you guys. I got to tell you, I appreciate anyone that walks in one of these little meetings with and listens to me. I mean, who am I? So I really appreciate it. I'm thankful that you do it. I know you're special. I know you're important. I know you got great things coming in behind you. So I love you guys. I'm going to jump off, finish my coffee. I have a client coming in. There's some calls to make. Have a great night. We love you. We'll see you guys tomorrow night. Same time, same channel. Love you. Bye.